In this problem, I will find the first occurrence of string x within string s. So we are passed two strings, string s and string s, and I'm going to return the starting position of string x within string s. So we'll have some example inputs here. So in could go here, s and x. In could go, let's see. Let's do cat, dog. So in could go, so we have dog within cat, right? And we're supposed to find dog. Okay. I'll get started with the function definition. We'll be returning an integer. And this function is usually called stir for string and string. String s and string x. Okay, I'll open things up here. So I'm going to initialize start to 0, and I'll loop through string s for okay, so if the ith element of s is equivalent to the 0th element, or the first element in x, then start is assigned I, and I'll use an inner for loop to go through x if and I still hasn't been incremented here. So if the ith element of s is equivalent to the jth element in x, then I'm going to increment I. Whereas if we've come across the length of the entire string, so if we're at the end, then I'll return start. And I need to close off this for loop, close off this if, close off this for loop. And if we have never found string x within string s, those kind of sound similar, then I'm going to return -1. Okay, so I'll discuss the time complexity and space complexity here. Space complexity is constant. I'm using one variable, and that's that. So big O of 1. Time complexity. So what I've done is super cool in that instead of basically I'm incrementing I along with checking j. So that means that the time complexity, we're only going through every element of S once. So if n is the number of elements within S, our time complexity is big O of n. Okay, let me run through this quick example. So start is 0. I'll just put some comments there. If S of I matches X of 0, no, it does not. C, I'll just, yes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 0, 1, 2. Okay. It does not, so we increment I. I is now 1. If S of 1 matches X of 0, yes it does, D and D. Start is I, so start is assigned 1 here. For j equals 0, blah, blah, blah. If S of 1 matches X of 0, I plus plus, yes it does. So I is now 2, and we are not at the end. So coming back around, in not background in the whole thing, but background in this inner for loop. So now I is 2, so if S of I, O matches X of j, j has been incremented, so j is now 1, yes, O and O match. Then I plus plus, okay, I is now 3. We are not at the end. Going through again. Now, if S of 3, G matches X of j, G, amazing. I plus plus. Remember, start is still 1 here. If j is equivalent to x dot length minus 1. So x dot length is 3, minus 1 is 2. J is indeed 2, because we just checked on G, right? So we're going to return start. So return 1. Yeah, just put return 1 here. And that's it.